to another video. I hope you are all doing okay and have had a lovely week. I thought I would come to you today with a bit of a video with common mistakes that not just beginners make, but some nail techs as well. Obviously, whether you are a beginner or not, I thought I'd just do a bit of a video, like I say, on common mistakes that I see people making, and I thought, and basically I've made as well. And yeah, I just thought it'd be helpful for me to put a bit of a video together and help you basically avoid these common mistakes, because we've all been there, and if we don't have to make the mistakes in the first place, then that would be great, although we do learn from them. But yeah, I just thought you'd find this helpful, so I will get straight into it. Now, this first one is definitely something that I see a lot, and what I also did when I first started, and that is trying to find your way around the nail art world before mastering the basics. Now, when it comes to acrylic or gel or builder gel, you need to master the basics before you then start going on to nail art and all of that sort of stuff. I know it's hard to try and hold back on all of the nail art stuff when you first start, because that is like the exciting part, and especially if you're quite a creative person, then it's really exciting to start doing all sorts of nail art stuff. But I would say if you wanted to practice your nail art, maybe just try and stick with the swatch sticks rather than rushing your application to then start some nail art and practice basically that way. If you're wanting to, like I say, practice nail art, then try it on some swatch sticks, but master your application and your basics before you start then spending all of your time learning different nail art techniques. I definitely did this. I have said in quite a few videos before is that when I first started doing nails, I didn't really think that I was going to be doing much nail art. It wasn't really my thing. I wasn't a very creative and arty person, and I thought that I was just going to be quite basic with the nails that I create. But then when you kind of come into the nail world and you see what everybody else is doing, and you think, I need to up my game. I need to be getting some nail art techniques and nail art designs in, kind of like in with my sets and stuff like that. And it's pressure. It can be pressure when you first start out, because you feel like you need to be creating certain like designs, keeping up with the trends and all that sort of stuff. But when you first start, you really do need to master the basics first. Now, I mainly started with acrylic when I first started. Biab wasn't really a thing, and I didn't do much gel, just only gel sets really. It was mainly acrylics, and I did practice a lot, because when I learned, it was in lockdown, and a lot of the time I couldn't do sets on clients anyway. So I was doing a lot of practice at home, practicing my application and all that kind of stuff, but also my nail art as well. And I was spending time learning how to do nail art when I hadn't even perfected my application and the basics. And I see it a lot I'm in a lot of Facebook groups which are like just like nail tech beginner groups, or like any kind of nail group that I'm in, and I'll see beginners posting their work on there, and their application and the basics of their nails are obviously not great, because they're beginners, and we've all been there. Mine have been the same, and they're trying out nail art, and I see comments all the time. I would never comment on anyone's like kind of first sets and say anything, but a lot of comments are, you know, kind of along the same thing. Just, you know, perfect the basics and practice your application before you put in any time and effort into the nail art side of it, because it's something that we have to take quite seriously when we are, you know, just starting out, especially with kind of acrylic and builder gel and gel. You don't want any of that touching your client's skin or your skin, and to see kind of product all seeping into the cuticle, it's really not good for you, and it's something that you kind of need to perfect before you put your time and effort into other things. So yeah, I've got plenty of videos on my channel with acrylic application, builder gel application and gel application, so if you need any help with any of that, then you can just have a scroll through my channel, and hopefully you'll find a video that you will find helpful. And then when you have mastered that, I've got plenty of other videos on nail art as well, whether it's spring nail art, summer, autumn, winter, general nail art. I've done quite a few videos on it. So yeah, just have a little nosy, and then you can put some more time and effort into the nail art once you've mastered the basics. Another thing that I see quite a lot is people investing a lot of time and money into brands or specific kind of sectors of nails without knowing that that is definitely what you want to do. I have mentioned in a previous video, I'm not too sure which one it was, about when I first started, I mainly did acrylic nails, as I've mentioned. And what I did is I went on Glitterbell's website and I picked every single acrylic colour powder that I absolutely loved, and I spent hundreds of pounds on their website to then, when they all get delivered, realise that I didn't really want to work with coloured acrylic, and I then had loads of it sat on the shelf that I didn't use because I don't do a lot of acrylic now. I do mainly builder gel, as you know, but now I just use core powders and then gel over the top, so I literally never use coloured acrylic. And you either get texts that have use coloured acrylic or they don't, and I don't. And when I first learned how to do my nails and I got my qualification, like I said, I was straight on that website ordering everything, all the glitters, all the colours, everything that I just thought, oh, that looks pretty. Put it in my basket. They're like a tenner a pot, like they're a lot of money. And yeah, just didn't even use it. Did not even use it once. I don't even know, I think I must have ended up selling them in dribs and drabs, but yeah. And then I also see people that, you know, want to get into nails and they will go on the Gel Bottle, for example, or Glossify, one of the like brands that are, you know, pretty expensive, and they'll buy hundreds of bottles. Like, they'll just go for it because they get excited, and then they end up not even carrying on with nails. So it's just one of them things. You need to kind of try and hold back. Don't kind of jump into the deep end and buy all this expensive stuff in case you don't like it in the end, and then you've got to get rid of it all, and you're not going to be able to sell it for the same amount that you've purchased it for, so you're going to end up losing money. I would say if you're just starting out and you are, you know, just trying brands, you know, pick the ones that, I'm not saying pick cheap ones, I'm not saying purchase things from Amazon, you know, like your gel colours from Amazon and stuff. I'm saying, like, you know, maybe Premier Gel. Premier Gel was one of the first brands that I used, and yeah, it was great for beginners. I absolutely loved it, and it was reasonably priced as well. So yeah, just don't go throwing yourself in at the deep end and purchasing all this super expensive stuff, because I have had people come to me in the past, like people I used to go to school with and stuff, and they're like, oh, I'm thinking about going, you know, doing nails, and I'll give them all this advice, and they'll say, oh yeah, I want to buy like all the Gel Bottle collection or anything like that, and then literally give it a few months, they've lost interest and they no longer do it, and they've bought all this stuff. So yeah, just be careful about what you're buying when you're first starting out, because you never know which direction things are going to go in. You might carry on. If you do, great. If you don't like it, then you don't want to be stuck with a load of stuff that you spent a lot of money on and can only sell for maybe half the price. Another thing I noticed on, like I say, a lot of this on like Facebook groups, is people kind of saying that they're struggling to get clients, or, you know, just asking for tips on how to get clients. And I have messages from people as well, you know, saying that they started out and they don't have any clients, and they obviously want to try and get them and want some advice. And all I can say is, when you first qualify, don't just sit there and wait for the clients to come to you. You need to be having plans in place to get your name out there. You need to be there to be seen, and you need to be right in front of people's faces. You need to be active on social media. You need to be putting deals on, offers on, you know, I've just qualified, can I do a model set on you? Or, you know, just things like that. You need to be, you can't just sit and wait for clients to come to you, because they are not necessarily going to find you. You need to be there to be seen and to be heard, and for people to see you work. So you need to be putting that effort in to create content, get sets, pictures of your sets, put it on your Instagram, put it on your Facebook, pop some little, you know, promotions together. You know, I've just qualified, I'm going to be doing discounted sets. That's exactly what I did. I made my price list for exactly how I would want to charge for my nails when I was, you know, proper up and running, but then I would slash the price of it and I would say it's 50% off this price list because I am newly qualified, so that people would then know what my prices would usually be and would be when they are, you know, when I've got a bit more experience. But up until you get to that point where you're 100% comfortable charging for work that you're proud of and you're happy with, you can have a discount on. So maybe when you first start, 50% off, then maybe 6 months in 30% off, or you know, just things like that. But people, I see a lot of the time just sitting back and waiting for clients to come to them and find them, and that's not always going to happen. People need to be able to see you, need to be able to find you, and the way that you are going to do that is through social media and through getting your name out there and making sure that you are there to be seen, because that's the only way people are going to find you. Now, this is one for the not so beginners, and that is booking yourself out. Now, if you're a beginner and you are booking yourself out, then that is absolutely amazing. You are smashing it. But I still do this to this day, and I think that I can... Do you know what my problem is that I can't say no to people. I feel bad for people and they need to get their nails done, and I will cram my day out and I will stress myself out, and I still don't know why I do it to this day, but I do, and I regret it every single time. And I will be working till like 8-9 p.m. at night, and I will be absolutely dead by the time the day's over, and I don't know why I still do it. I'm trying to become a little bit better with it at the moment, and I'm trying to say no more, because one, it ends up me getting stressed. Two, I end up rushing because I'm panicking that people are going to be, you know, coming in, constantly clock watching. I don't want to be rushing people's nails, because people come, they pay for their nails to be done, and they want it to be done like 10 out of 10, obviously. And I don't want to be rushing that. I want to have more than enough time. So booking yourself out is a mistake that I still make and still I'm working on. And obviously, if you are a beginner and you are getting a lot of interest, then that is absolutely amazing. But just be careful how many people you're booking in a certain space of time, because like I say, you just don't want to be rushing. You don't want pressure, especially if you're a beginner, because you are going to be taking a little bit more time than usual, which is obviously fine because you are just starting out. I used to take over 2 hours to do a set of acrylics, which is, like I say, that's normal for a beginner, and it can be longer if you are doing like a more detailed set or anything like that. So yeah, just, it's one thing that you just don't want to be doing. You do not want to be stressing, so just be very wary of how many clients you book in within a certain period of time. And the last one that I wanted to cover is not having policies in place. So you need to be having policies in place to cover yourself if you have any no-shows, any late cancellations or anything like that. So what I do is I take deposits for my first appointment from clients, and I will make sure that I'm covered, because I feel like before a client comes for the first time, you have absolutely no loyalties to each other. And I know that I'm not going to cancel on people, obviously, unless it is completely necessary. But people that are new here and they don't know me, they have no loyalties to me. And that's why you need to be careful with making sure you take deposits, because people will not show up. I am lucky enough not have to deal with it that much. It is few and far between that it happens. But you need to have policies in place to make sure you're covered for it. So make sure you're taking deposits and obviously covering yourself against no-shows or late cancellations. This is another thing that I have got better with time. I went through a period where I didn't really like taking deposits. I like to trust people, but the more and more people that you deal with, and obviously the more it happens, and it just means that you're covered, and at least you have a little bit of income if they don't turn up or anything like that. So just make sure that you are putting some policies together, even if it's just deposits, and just popping them on your Instagram so that your clients are aware of it, and then they, obviously when they book, they are agreeing to that policy, and they will be happy to lose their deposit if they cancel or if they don't show up. So at least you've got something going in as income rather than obviously nothing because they didn't turn up. I hope you found that helpful. That is everything that I wanted to cover in this video. Obviously, if you are a beginner and there is anything that you guys need help with, then please let me know. I have got a little list going in my notes of videos that I need to make for you guys. So I will add it to the little list. If you send me a message on Instagram, I'll pop my little handle down there so that you can head over there and follow me on Instagram. Or you can leave me a little comment on the bottom of this video. And please remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!